Two women, worlds apart, united by one common mission: to save women from sexual exploitation. The CNN Freedom Project presents Nepal's Stolen Children.
Last year, I attended the CNN Heroes Awards, a gala event to honor people making a difference in the world. I met a woman whose courage and selfless determination redefine words like bravery and dedication. Since 1993, she has helped rescue more than 12,000 women and girls. Her name is Anuradha Koirala. Saving one person at a time, Anuradha has made it her life's mission to find freedom and redemption for thousands of women and girls forced into sex slavery. Her organization is called Maiti Nepal, which means Mother's Home.
The 2010 CNN Hero of the Year is Anuradha Koirala.
In that moment, I knew this would not be the last time our paths would cross. The snow-covered mountains of the Himalayas are the first sight to greet most travelers arriving in Nepal. Its capital, Kathmandu, is a busy hub for tourist traffic, climbers and trekkers drawn by the lure of Everest. Most who come use it as a gateway to adventure, but I'm here for a very different reason. Sandwiched between China and India, Nepal is also a magnet for another kind of human traffic. The tiny nation provides a steady supply of sex slaves for the brothels of Delhi and Mumbai. I arrived at Maiti Nepal to an overwhelming welcome. Nepalese people are known for their warmth and hospitality, and I was experiencing it firsthand. So wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Namaste, namaste.
It's so beautiful.
It seemed like such a happy, cheerful group of young women and girls, but their stories would tell a different tale. It was hard to imagine that every single woman in this room had suffered at the hands of sex traffickers, pimps, or brothel owners. Recovery can take years, and emotional scars can be harder to detect than physical ones, and they definitely don't heal as easily. I wanted to come to learn what you're doing that's working so that I can find ways of helping share those best practices in my own country where this is also a problem.
First she says that there is no job opportunity in the village. The trafficker comes and says, okay, there is job in the city, I will give you the job. And we believe, we women in Nepal believe very quickly, that is why this is happening.
One of the things that we, and my husband and I have been working on is addressing men's behavior, men's idea that it is acceptable to buy girls. And we feel that real men don't buy girls. And that's something that has to begin. We have to re-educate our young boys. But I must say, this is a powerful, strong group of women, and your voices are very encouraging to me. I noticed one young woman in the crowd who couldn't seem to muster the enthusiasm to join in. Her sad look stuck with me. Her name is Patali. Like so many young women, she had been trafficked across the border into India to work in a brothel. She was rescued 6 months ago, but in the chaos of the rescue operation, police were unable to recover her 2-year-old daughter. Children are routinely separated from their mothers to prevent disruption from their work, but also as leverage to discourage them from escaping. This is a big day, though, because news has come that another raid on the brothel has led to the rescue of her daughter. She is expected at Maiti Nepal any minute. Patali is both relieved but sick with concern for her safety. Look. Tragically, after such a long time apart, the terrified little girl does not recognize her mother and pushes her away, reaching out to her rescuer instead. As the mother of 3 girls myself, it was painful to watch, and everyone in the room felt helpless. And how old is he now? Too often, it is children who are abused to ensure that their mothers comply with brothel owners' orders. The woman on my right is Radhika. By the time she was 12, she had been trafficked twice, had a kidney removed by illegal organ sellers, and had an 18-month-old son.
And he is now in school, yes.
The brothel keeper's cruelty was effective. When they were rescued and brought to Maiti Nepal, the boy was unable to talk. Now 8 years old, he's making progress but is still nervous and wary of strangers.
At the brothel, I was forced to have sex with men, and if I refused to do that, if I argued with them, then they would burn cigarettes on my body, and they would beat me with a stick, or they would spill hot water on me.
I know that when you were separated from your son, that some abuse happened to him. Can you tell me about that?
When we were separated and when my son cried, they burnt my son's tongue with a cigarette.
In just an afternoon, I've heard stories of suffering that would be incomprehensible to most people, but sadly, they are far too familiar to many in Nepal. In order to see how this can be allowed to happen, I needed to head for the border. Today I'm with Anuradha at the Kathmandu airport boarding a plane for India, or to be precise, to take me to the border Nepal shares with India. It's across that border that thousands of Nepalese girls are trafficked each year into brothels of Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and other Indian cities. This journey is difficult for Anuradha. She's so fearless when facing human traffickers and yet has trouble facing up to her own fear of flying. As she puts it, on the ground, I'm a lion, but up in the air, I am a mouse. Back on solid ground, Anuradha finds her feet once more, and we're soon on our way to one of the 26 official border crossings along the 2,500-kilometer frontier between the two countries. I'm not allowed to cross into India without a visa, but Nepalese and Indians are free to pass without showing passports or ID cards of any kind.
I'm actually amazed, though, that they don't do some kind of card that had to be shown. For people who do work and have legitimate business going back, it's not to keep people from going back and forth, that there has to be some better system.
In just 4 hours at the border, I saw several thousand people crossing over. Anuradha introduces me to Maiti Nepal's own border guards. Their slight appearance belies an intense determination which is born from their own experience. All of Maiti Nepal's guards were themselves trafficked into brothels. There are 50 guards working for Maiti Nepal across 10 checkpoints. Every day at the border, they will intercept on average 20 girls at risk of being trafficked.
Can you explain to me, like, how it exactly works?
What she says is every girl they watch, and they watch the men also. They watch, and as soon as they catch, they suspect. They keep the one. She takes the girl, or she takes the boy, and then they cross-question. After cross-questioning, if they find that whatever they are saying is not true, then if it is a boy, they hand over the boy to the police station, and then they take the girl and go to the transit home.
How do they have an authority? Like if they say, see a rickshaw coming, if they can just stop it, or do they have to get the police to stop it?
Because of the uniform, everybody recognizes, and they say they are the girls from Maiti Nepal, we should stop them.
Okay. So then they'll just need to show me like how it works.
She's asking for the identity card of her.
It's a daunting task at such a busy border crossing, like looking for a needle in a haystack. The odds are stacked on the side of the traffickers. The guards know the suspicious signs which could identify potential traffickers, but catching the criminals may mean questioning dozens of perfectly innocent travelers every day.
Maiti Nepal
This is the grandfather, and the father is working in India, and now it's a term holiday, so I told her read this, and the grandfather is also saying, I told you not to eat anything if people give you, so don't eat anything if anybody gives.
Offering young girls food or drink laced with drugs is a common ploy of the traffickers. When Anuradha has any suspicions about travelers, she is forthright in her questioning.
He's such a liar. He said he's going for shopping, and then she took out the whole thing. They're all going to India. India is Rina Inaru. कहाँ जानु लागेको तिमी? किन बाबा?
बाबा त्यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ?
किन बाबा? घुम्न. She's saying that this is her mother. Yes. And this is her daughter. She has holidays. She's going to India to meet her father. But she told us lies that she was going for medication. And now, actually, I phoned her brother, and then he said they're going to.
So everything is okay.
Yeah.
While in this instance, there seemed to be nothing wrong, any inconsistencies in the stories raise the suspicions of Maiti Nepal. The police act largely as onlookers during these encounters. They will respond when Maiti Nepal guards believe they've found a trafficker, but simply don't have the resources themselves to actively look for offenders.
The coordination between police and Maiti Nepal has always been very good, right? From 1994, we have been working together with the police. There are 26 borders between India and Nepal, that is the official borders. But sometimes we have problem with the police. But then you cannot put all the police into one basket, right? Of course.
It is not necessary to any types of card, passport.
No, everybody knows it's open border.
Yeah.
But he was thinking that it would be nice if they had a written document. Okay?
The documentation, so you know who's going in and out.
She's meeting the Prime Minister day after tomorrow.
What is it that we could ask that would help what you do?
Here is a problem of the manpower. And we coordination between the Maiti Nepal as well as other agencies.
The main thing the inspector has said is he needs manpower.
Yeah, just more people.
It is lack of manpower.
Got it.
Maiti Nepal estimates it's rescued more than 12,000 women in its 20-year history. Ironically, that's the same number of Nepalese women and girls believed to be trafficked to India every year. While we're filming, a group of 4 women recently rescued from brothels in India make it back across the border after a 40-hour journey. Some of the girls ask not to be identified, terrified that the stigma of their ordeal would make them social outcasts at home.
4 girls have come back home, and they're very happy to be home.
Happy, yes, but also traumatized. The youngest is 15. She was 12 when she was trafficked, and the brothel owners forced her to take hormones to prematurely develop her young body into that of a woman.
Now they will go with us to the transit, have a little bit of food, wash faces, and then they will travel back to Maiti Nepal.
Maiti Nepal has a transit home near the border where rescued girls can begin to recover from their ordeal before being transferred to the main rehabilitation center in Kathmandu, and in some cases face their trafficker in court.
Every time, every week or every 15 days, you have to go to the court with the girl. So it takes 1 to 1.5 years for one case to be finalized. Wow. So during that period, we have to keep the girls with us. So we counsel the parents and say that the girls will stay with us. And during their stay with us, they do some trainings for their life skill, and that is how we reintegrate them into the society.
But society isn't always ready to accept them back.
She is frightened of the stigma. She's saying, please do not tell my husband that I was in Maiti Nepal in India or Maiti Nepal here.
It's believed there may be as many as 35,000 Nepalese girls working Mumbai's red light district alone.
Two men took me. They said they will teach me some job and give me a job later on after training, and they sold me.
But she's been gone for 2 years, and how old is she?
And कति वर्ष पुग्यो नानी? I don't know, I think I'm 17, 16. बच्चा?
बच्चा पनि यहाँ छ, सासु थिन्छ।
कहाँ?
सासु थिन्छ।
कति वर्ष पुग्यो?
7-8 सालको छ।
I have a son who is 7 years old with my in-laws, so I would like to go back to my in-laws. She says my in-laws will also not take me if they know that I have come from working like this.
म दुबारा यस्तो काम कहिले गर्दिन, कान पक्रिन्छु, आफ्नो छोराको कसम खान्छु, म गर्दिन।
I swear on my son, I will never do all this kind of work again. But please, don't say that I've come from there.
Another pain inflicted by the trafficker's cruelty, a mother desperately wanting to see her son again, but terrified that her family will turn her away when they find out what she's been through. Being shunned by loved ones is not an uncommon reaction, but what tips the balance from acceptance to rejection. The answer for one trafficked girl, recently rescued from a brothel, lies in a remote mountain village 6 hours from Kathmandu. Dawn breaks over the Himalayas. It's a beautiful start to the day in some of Nepal's most remote villages. But beauty doesn't put food on the table, and some of the country's most breathtaking scenery is home to some of its poorest people. The average income in Nepal is a little over $200 a year. That's 57 cents a day. In the remote areas, it's often far less. Poverty is the means by which traffickers trap their prey, luring them away from their neighborhoods with the promise of work in the big city. It's to such a village that we're heading today. Maiti Nepal wakes up as usual to the sound of sweeping. Prayers are offered and breakfast is taken, and in the corner of one of the communal bedrooms, a young woman is packing her bag. Today, Tuli is going home. It's a 6-hour drive into the mountains to reach Tuli's village. And as our vehicle struggles up the dusty road, there's plenty of time for me to hear her story. So how is it that she ended up being trafficked? What was the situation?
One day she met a man and he said, oh, it's better in a bigger place. Let's go, I will get you a job. And then that's how she landed up. As usual, she had come for shopping in the city for her brother. And then she never returned home. So first they thought that she was in the relative's house, and they looked in the relative's house and they could not find her. Then afterwards, they knew that she had disappeared somewhere. So they didn't tell anybody, they just waited for some time, and later on then they found out that she was trafficked when they got the message.
After 6 months in a brothel in Calcutta, Tuli took a risk and asked one of her clients to help her. He agreed to phone her brother, and with Maiti Nepal's assistance, he traveled to India to help her escape.
Is she worried about how she's going to be treated?
The family will treat me very nicely, I know that, but I don't know about the community.
I'm hearing that, Tuli, this is your favorite tea place. So ask me. Yes. So you have to come and show us.
Tuli wants to stop at a favorite eating place halfway through the journey. The town has some fond memories for her, but it's also the place where she met her trafficker.
Why is this area particularly bad for the trafficking?
This way, the buses go to Kathmandu. So they all stop here for food and all that. And here is where they, give them Coca-Cola, put drugs, and then make them go to sleep. And they get up in Kathmandu, and from there again, they take them to certain conduit points, and then after that, again.
And are these, possibly girls that are just on the bus?
So not everybody. The one who a trafficker has lured and brought up to here.